Hey everybody, Thacia here with Legacy of Light in conjunction with One Love Wellness Center here in Menasha, Wisconsin, coming to you for one of my 365 days from my heart to yours. And we have been in the midst of If the Buddha Dated, but I have been watching this a movie and docu-series that has been just quite amazing. And today's episode was on healing our ancestral wounds, and it really moved me, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about that because it is, something that each and every one of us has, gone through. And they talk about everyone being an indigenous, and whether you are now or you have been we are all indigenous and have played that role. And so we carry these wounds, whether it's from this, lifetime or, previous ones. We all are carrying these deep wounds. And a while back, I did a shamanic journey. And just at one point in it, I was witnessing like the lineage, starting from my father, and like just going back and going back and going back. And just realizing that part of my, not job, but part of my essence and being has been to be the witnesser. So just to witness it and to call attention, basically to say, I see this has happened to, the atrocities that have happened through this lineage. Just going back and back and back and back and back and back and back. Just kept going. And at the time too, I was looking in the mirror, and like I became all of them. Starting with my father and then going back, and then realizing that I was there to be the witness of all these things, whether good, bad, indifferent, whatever it was, I was there to witness. And in the video, they had talked about just being that witnesser, and we can come to these places with each other where the victim can be with the aggressor, so to speak, or the people or the ancestors of the people, and just speak their truth, and everybody just be there for that moment and be in agreement that this has happened, and not necessarily so we can exact revenge, or we can do you have to feel this certain way, you have to, no, it is just so that everybody who is in that situation can be that witnesser and say, okay, this happened. And then we can begin this healing process, because we're all running around with these ancestral wounds, and then we take them out on other people. And it's just the cycle that has been going and going for thousands of years. And you look at all the indigenous people, they all have these same stories. Somebody came in, said, oh, we have a better way, you should do our way, and almost systematically tried to wipe them out. And whether those people were conscious of that, some part of them were, some part thought that they were better. So, and it just, this story keeps perpetuating. So then, you know, in some instances, like, you know, the English, people came in and tried to wipe out their tribe. So then what did they do? Then they, you know, built themselves back up, and they went around trying to wipe other people out. You know, it's like the Romans coming in, taking people out. It's just this pattern has perpetuated. And here's the time when we can heal these ancestral wounds. We all have the opportunity to work together and not separately. And, you know, maybe as different cultures, we can be that witnesser for somebody else's culture who right now has gone through things in this lifetime. And maybe your ancestors necessarily, you know, haven't seen that in this lifetime. You know, I'm talking about the indigenous people. And we, as the non-indigenous, can be the witness for them. And just listen. And say, okay. And not only say, okay, what can we do to heal this wound? And we each have to go through these spaces kind of on our own, but yet collectively. Because we have to look in ourselves, and we have to decide in ourselves what we want to do with that information. How we want to work through forgiveness. Because, you know, as Rumi says, you know, within forgiveness, it's like drinking poison and thinking that it's going to kill someone else. If we have unforgiveness, that is what is going to happen. We're going to kill ourselves. We're going to drink the poison. The poison is going to kill us. It's not like, you know, this rage and hatred that we have for somebody else is going to do anything to them. It is only going to harm us. And this is how we come together to heal these ancestral wounds. To play our role in helping the globe, this global mission of healing, by being the witnesser, by being the observer, by going within ourselves. And at one point, one of the speakers had talked about, you know, she had done, you know, a shamanic journey and found a space within her that was like anger and hatred and rage. And she said she actually had to sit with that feeling for about a year. And, you know, on and off, her guides would come to her and say, do you still believe in peace? And first of all, she didn't even realize that was in her. That ancestral wound was with her. And so she sat with it, and she worked through it until she came to a place and said, yes, I still believe in peace, no matter what has happened. Because we've all been wounded. And we literally carry that in our DNA. And how we get through it is by looking at it and being with it and accepting it and loving it and honoring it and moving forward from it, to knowing that we can all heal, and we can, as this collective consciousness that we are all connected. We can work through this together on all levels, through all space and time, to heal together as a collective, to change the trajectory of these dreams that we are dreaming. We have control. We are each the creators of our universe. And we can create a compassionate and loving change within ourselves to then see this in the world, in the entire world. Sure, it's not going to happen overnight, but, little by little, if each person makes the conscious effort to say, yes, I am willing to be that observer for myself and for those in my community and those that I feel compelled to or drawn to, because maybe you have some ancestral lines within that culture. There's infinite possibilities within this universe. So let's not just limit ourselves to like, oh, I've, just always been this. Because this is just like, what some call a skin suit. It sounds a little odd, but this is just the form that you've taken right now. There's so much more within our DNA. So all we need to do is be willing to open up our hearts, to open up that space where we feel the compassion for ourselves, our ancestors, for our community's ancestors, for, all of humanity's ancestors. And we make a conscious effort to look at these wounds and just be the witnesser. All right. I love you guys. And I will be back another time.